Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, ASIATHABIRD. To have a very special guest with me today. She is a Laquer nail artist and also OPI's North American Educational Manager. Please welcome Miss Sigourney Nunez. Hello, Sig. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so let's get started. So I want to ask about your upbringing. What was your upbringing like, and how did you get into the beauty industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I am an LA native, born and raised in a city called Bell Gardens, which is Southeast LA.
Hmm.
Then I ventured out to the Valley to go to college, where I pursued a career in journalism.
Hmm.
I did a couple of internships at local newspapers like the Ventura County Star, LA Daily News,
Hmm.
had a stint in broadcast where I worked with Telemundo for a little bit.
Hmm.
But at the time, it was like the early 2010s. And
Hmm.
at that time, publications were getting smaller and smaller. Print advertising was getting tougher and tougher. And so I decided to look for other outlets. And I've always had an interest in beauty and nails specifically. So I started my own nail art blog when I was in between jobs and after college. And from there, learned that I can couple my skills in journalism and my interest in nails, and ended up getting a job at one of the trade magazines here in the US called Nails Magazine. I
Hmm.
started off as a blogger, as a contributor. They had a consumer facing blog called Salon Fanatic. So that was
Hmm.
really for the DIYers, and that's how I started freelancing there. And that eventually led to a full time role as um, a reporter there. It was a great time. They were super supportive. Really learned all of like the key stakeholders in the industry and all the up and coming artists and rising stars, and really helped me like just get a really great understanding about the industry.
Hmm.
And they were also super supportive and knew about my interest in nails. So they actually supported me um, managing my job and also going to nail school. So I was like
Hmm.
an editor by day and a nail student by night. So I was able to get my manicuring license at Advanced Beauty College
Hmm.
um, in 20, what year is that? 2016.
Hmm.
But similarly with the print industry, it was tough, and I was looking more into digital opportunities, and I had a huge passion for social media. So I ended up moving and became a digital content manager for Nail Pro magazine.
Hmm.
But then from there, also had a passion for education. I wanted to go more the brand route. And so I
Hmm.
ended up at OPI, and I just celebrated my 3 year anniversary with the brand earlier this month.
Wow, congratulations. So
Thank you.
I want to really ask, like, what's the whole role in terms of being a North American education manager at OPI? Like, what's the whole role of that?
Yeah, it's definitely morphed a lot since when I first started. So OPI is a global company, it's a global brand, and North America is the biggest market. So we have a global team and we have a North America team. And
Hmm.
so basically my role is to be the expert, the resource, the nail tech, providing that perspective in really important meetings when we make decisions about product launches, product development, education materials, when we partner with our customers like Cosmoprof, Salon Centric, Ulta, Amazon. Just want to
Hmm.
make sure that everything that we create, we're always thinking about the nail pro and we're also thinking about the consumers. And we want to
Hmm.
ensure that along the way, we are providing resources to ensure that people know how to use our products.
Hmm.
That is one part. Another part of my job is community management. So
Hmm.
there are tons of people who use our products and advocate for us online. And so we partner with them to create content to just help us get exposure for our latest collections and launches.
Hmm.
Um, and I also create content myself, but it's a big, big job, and just I've been happy to be there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of OPI products, like, what's your favorite products to use, within OPI?
Yeah, so really great question. OPI has a really huge portfolio, which I'm sure you're aware.
Hmm.
200 plus colors, shade matched in nail lacquer, infinite shine, gel color, and powder perfection. And so we really have a two-pronged approach. We have consumer-facing products that you can buy at Ulta or Sally. Then we also have professional-only products, and those are like our dipping powder systems, our gel colors. Which as a nail professional, I know how to use all those systems, but personally, my personal preference, I am a lacquer girl through and through. I started my nail journey painting my own nails
Hmm.
back in the day when I was unemployed, had a college degree, was having a really hard time finding a job, but nails really
Hmm.
just helped me keep myself grounded, keep myself hopeful. And, back in the day, I remember having only like $27 in my bank account, but I
Hmm.
used six of those dollars to buy nail polish from the Dollar Tree. And
Hmm.
I used those like six polishes to create content for my blog. And so to think that nail polish gave me a career is just really incredible because it's something that I would have ever thought about as a girl from Southeast LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So nail lacquer to me is like my favorite. I can take it off really easily. I have my own Instagram where I create content. So to me, it's just a lot easier because I'm still juggling my full-time job, but I also love to
Hmm.
create content. So this is a time saver for me to just easily remove versus having to soak off.
Hmm.
So just nail lacquer is my absolute favorite.
Yeah, it's the same with me. I like using nail lacquer as well on my nails because, like how you
Yes,
said, it's easy to get off. I also like using gel as well. Gel is fun to work with as well.
yes.
So I want to really ask, in pertaining to Los Angeles, what's the nail scene like in Los Angeles?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I feel like there are tons of influencers out here, people who have been in the nail industry for a really long time and have made a name for themselves. There are also some agencies out here that represent nail pros only, which is really exciting. Just a lot of trendsetters. We have Chon Legend, we have Brittany Tokyo, just
Mm,
to name a few. Like it's just pretty incredible to be surrounded by like the best in the business.
mm.
But definitely trendsetters, lots of forward thinking nail artists who are always kind of pushing the boundaries with their nail art and with their techniques.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I heard of China Legend and Brittany Tokyo. Brittany Tokyo's work is very phenomenal. I love her work. It's so creative and expressive, and it's like so cute. And Sean Legend, I like his attention to detail with his nails. It's really cool. I wanted to ask this other question and pertain to OPI. So I want to go back to OPI really quickly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in terms of if somebody wants to be an ambassador or somebody who wants to have a job opportunity, like how does one sign up or contribute to OPI possibly?
Yeah, there's multiple ways to get associated with the brand. One of the easiest ways is you can go to opi.com and there's a section in there for you to sign up for like an ambassadorship
Hmm.
to seed products. I would say one of the easiest ways to get recognized is through social media. We
Hmm.
have an entire digital team dedicated to fostering these communities. And so if you use OPI products, make sure that you're tagging the brand online and using the respective hashtags like OPI gel color, for example, if that's a product that you use.
Hmm.
But engaging with the brand online because the brand's always looking for new content creators to partner with, new
Hmm.
artists. They're also looking for what's called user generated content, the UGC, for the
Hmm.
brand to repost to share their work.
Right.
And we also have a program called we call it like a nail boss community. So we have
Hmm.
a community of OPI icons, and those are like our consumers who use nail polish or infinite shine. And then we
Hmm.
have our professionals who are our nail bosses, and we seed them gel color powder perfection. And so they actually receive products from us on a monthly basis. And we actually host like these really cool giveaway prizes as an incentive for them to use our products and create
Hmm.
content. And how we found them was they engaged with us. They were tagging us in their content. We knew they liked OPI. So the relationship just felt really authentic. So just start engaging with people. Like one of the things that, for example, I was really impressed by you is you have this tenacity about you to just like reach out to people and make that connection. And so don't be afraid to just put yourself out there because
Hmm.
you might end up just, talking to the brand the next day. So
Right.
definitely just engage online.
Yeah, that's very good advice. I think networking, putting yourself out there is very, very important, especially, if you have like cool bodies of work with like nail art or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. I think I definitely agree with you. Like putting yourself out there is very, very important because that's how opportunities can come to you. So I definitely agree with that. So in terms of like your nail art style, would you consider your nail art style as minimalist? Like how would you describe your art style?
Yeah. How would I describe my nail art style? I think minimalism is a really great word to describe it. Transparently, the time that I spent doing my nails happens after my 8 to 5 job.
Mm-hmm.
So the good thing about quarantine for me or COVID is that I have been able to go from an office job every Monday to Friday to at home Monday through Friday because of lockdown and things like that. And that has been, I've been able to use that to my advantage because I can go from my desk job, which is like here in my in my kitchen, to going to my room and paint my nails, and I don't have to worry about traffic or things like that, and I still have the energy to create. So a lot of my art happens after my job. So I don't have too much time to spend on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to do something super easy, something that takes me less than an hour. So I think minimal is absolutely a word to describe it. To me, color is super important. So I get a lot of inspiration from color pairings. I will be watching TV, and if I see somebody with a really cool outfit and like a really cool color combination, I'll like
Mm-hmm.
snap a picture on my phone and keep it as reference for later for inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
But I love playing with negative space. I also, when I create nail art, I think about my audience. Majority of them are people who like to do their nails at home. So I'm always trying to create art that is easy to recreate for them,
Right.
to inspire them to try to do their own nails. Because of COVID, there were a lot of people who had access to nail salons, especially here in California. Unfortunately, they
Mm-hmm.
were closed for a really long time. And so we saw a spike in interest of consumers to do their own nails at home. So I wanted to make sure that I was part of that process of like offering education for
Mm-hmm.
that particular interest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
How important is nail care, especially with skincare? Because I know with, you do the walkthroughs of your tutorials of how to do like different nail designs, but you also go through nail prep. So how
Yeah.
important is nail prep, especially cuticle work?
Cuticle work and nail prep is super important because it promotes maximum adhesion. And when you have maximum adhesion, then you get longer wear and you
Mm-hmm.
really allow the product to do its job. You're kind of giving it the best opportunity for it to be successful. If you have residual cuticle on the nail plate or excess soils, then the product can't attach to the nail plate properly and you'll get
Mm-hmm.
some premature chipping and things like that. But I am a huge, huge advocate of cuticle oil. On my TikTok account, I share daily cuticle oil reminders at least like
Mm-hmm.
twice a week. Um, to me, ha- hydrated hands are happy hands.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're constantly keeping your hands moisturized, especially in the last year, we've been using a lot of sanitizer gels and things like that. So our hands are getting
Mm-hmm.
more super dry. And so keeping them moisturized also, keeps them happy. And when you massage in the cuticle oil, you're also promoting blood flow at the matrix, and that also helps with nail growth. So
Mm-hmm.
overall, definitely use your cuticle oil if you're not already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely agree. I think nail care is very important in terms of, especially it's a base for anything, whether it's gel, acrylic, or just polish in general. I think that, it makes it have that long lasting wear
Mm-hmm.
for any nail enhancement. So also I wanted to ask this question pertaining to in terms of the company of OPI of the brand. So also what makes OPI stand out from all the other brands? Like what makes it stand out? What makes it so unique?
That's a really good question. OPI has been around for about 40 years. And how OPI made a name for itself was not only the iconic silhouette of that bottle. You can recognize an OPI bottle on a shelf in a lineup anywhere. That bottle is so iconic that it's been in the Smithsonian Museum along with a Coca-Cola bottle, the Mickey Mouse ears. It's recognized as an iconic shape.
Mm-hmm.
But what really kind of was groundbreaking were the shade names.
Mm-hmm.
So OPI's co-founder, Susie Weiss Fishman,
Mm-hmm.
and when she started OPI in the late 80s, by 1989, at that point, polishes were like number 82, red 89. They didn't have any cute or quirky names. So
Mm-hmm.
Susie Weiss Fishman was one of those pioneers who started creating fun names like Big Apple Red and Funny Bunny and Alpine Snow. And so
Right.
that made it really iconic, and it sort of helped create an affinity towards the brands and the shade names. And so OPI has also been a part of people's really important occasions in their lives, like weddings, graduations, things like that. And so the association of like a really fun idiosyncratic name with a shade, I think, has helped made it super iconic. And also back in the day, OPI used to advertise in like major magazines, and they also used to do partnerships with movies or televisions. Like if you've ever seen Legally Blonde, OPI is all over that salon. And so it helps create brand recognition. And so not only did professionals know about OPI, but we also had clients and consumers who knew about OPI. So if they were to go to the salon, they would ask for shade names by name. And so that demand is also, I think, what has helped establish OPI as like a cool brand.
I also would like to ask, and pertaining to this, I think this is an important topic, and not only with your brand, but any nail brand, especially in the nail industry. What is your take and perspective on diversity?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. When the civil unrest happened in June 2020, it was really tough because I personally, as like I'm not technically an ambassador. I work for OPI. I'm an employee, but I was personally being held accountable, and I was asked the question, "What are you as an employee doing to ensure diversity?" And it was tough because, in my mind, I thought I've been doing, supporting nail artists, but I didn't think about it from like a company perspective. And so I'm actually really proud to share that OPI and our parent company, Wella Company, has actually established a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. And we are going to be having diversity and inclusion and equity trainings for all of the employees. And I personally have been partnering with a lot of creators to ensure that we are supporting and elevating melanated voices. Diversity is super important, not only in campaigns, but in the content creation and even the product development. So we always make sure that we are tapping artists from all walks of life and backgrounds as well, to ensure that we do have proper representation. In a corporate environment, to have this kind of result and so quickly, I think is really important. And so I was really happy to see, but it was tough, and it's been an uphill battle, but the company itself has declared diversity as a priority. And so I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think that I could definitely agree. Diversity is very important because you get to learn from all walks of life and different cultures. I think that with diversity, it gives an essence of equality and fairness to the beauty industry, especially with the community around the world as a whole. So I definitely agree that diversity is very, very important as well. In terms of the beauty industry on the business aspect, how do you feel about the progression of the beauty industry business-wise?
Yeah, I think because of COVID, it's been tough. Nail pros in general are tenacious, and within the last year, they've really had to think creatively and outside of the box, especially in California, because they weren't able to offer services for a really long time. So it forced some nail pros to either create their own products, like their own cuticle oils. I saw a lot of pros create their own DIY kits to sell to clients. And so it's really important to start thinking of things that are more sustainable when you are not able to offer services, in order to continue to have that revenue stream. So things like partnering with brands to offer your expertise. And I don't necessarily mean partnering with brands so that you can do nail art. One really great example I have of a partnership and collaboration is with Gracie J, also known as the Editorial Nail. I lead a lot of projects with her. She is not only an incredible artist, but also a really advocate in the community. And she is also an early adapter. So I'm not sure if you know this. Gracie has her own, have you heard of the app called Clubhouse?
Yes, I'm on that.
Okay, great. So Gracie has her own room on Clubhouse called the Nail Shop Tea. And she actually reached out and said, hey, I don't know if you've heard of Clubhouse. I'm doing this cool thing where there's a bunch of nail pros on the app, and I'm looking for opportunities for collaboration. And, I personally cannot be the expert at everything. So I'm always looking for opportunities for these kind of collaborations. So for that, I've partnered with Gracie, and she's also worked with experts in their own industries. Like we had a panel yesterday with the People's CPA, and we talked about business registration for entrepreneurs. And so like, it was a really creative way of partnering with the nail brand that necessarily wasn't about selling our products, wasn't about building your craft, but it was more about building your business. And so
Right.
when I think about OPI in the future, in terms of the scope of work that I'm doing, those are the kind of opportunities and partnerships that I'm looking for, because I want to ensure that OPI is a support to the nail pros along their journey beyond just the nail art or product application.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely agree, because I think with the beauty industry, collaboration is very important, and also connecting with other artists, other business people, so you know the ins and outs of business. And I've talked to Gracie J for quite a while, and I actually did a commission of a nail set for her. That was
Oh,
really
nice.
cool. So I still, we still connect and talk back and forth and stuff like that. And she's really a good advocate for the nail and beauty industry. She's very vocal, like how you said, very open, with in terms of teaching people about the business of nails. So that's really cool, because I think there again, that's very important. Now, in terms of with your job and your position, what brings you the most joy, and how do you balance work and daily life?
Oof. Um, balance is something, honestly, I'm working on every day. I am working from home right now, and it's tough because my passions and my hobby led to a career. So when I try to wind down and do my hobby of nails, it's also kind of blended where it's like still my job and it's still OPI. So there's a lot of like gray area there. So in terms of balance, the easiest way for me to create balance is to officially unplug. No laptops, no cell phones, but that's tough. But I try really hard to do that. Um, Sorry, what was the other question that you asked me?
It was, how do you balance work and daily life?
Yeah, so it's tough. I'll admit. As a product of immigrant parents, I am super industrious. So like, I have to figure out a way to like disconnect at an appropriate time so that I can have dinner with my husband and just wind down. But admittedly, it is tough for me, especially working from home, because my laptop's just there, and if I like hear an email notification, I'll go and answer it. So like, it's a work in progress.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You're still, it's important to have that balance. But I know it for some
I
people,
know
especially
it's tough.
with yourself, it's kind of hard. You try to find time for different things. So I think that, trying to find the balance can sometimes be hard. That's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the beauty industry, how would you define your impact?
Me? Oh, yeah, I've never thought about that. I think, uh, mm, so I started my career in the industry through Nails Magazine and through Nail Pro.
Mm,
And one of the things that brought the most joy to me is when a nail artist would reach out after we collaborated on an article or on a technique and the magazine printed. And they were just over the moon about seeing their name in print, seeing their work in print. And even though today I don't necessarily work at a magazine, I still
mhm.
have my hands in those type of collaborations. And so for me to elevate rising stars or people in the community who are making a difference, because I have access to a brand and a platform, um, if my success doesn't mean anything if other people aren't successful. So especially in the nail industry, where we're already seen as like the redheaded stepchild in the beauty industry as a whole, we're constantly having to fight for our place in the room and our importance and our relevancy. So I find joy rising other people along with me.
Awesome. That's beautifully said. Now, where could people find you on social media?
Yeah, so the biggest platforms where I'm most active is Instagram and TikTok. My handles are the same. It is Nail Art by Sig.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for jumping on to the show. I'm so happy to have you on the show. I like hearing different opinions and different stories. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's been a great opportunity. Your work is amazing. I like your minimalist style. It's so simple, but it's so beautiful and colorful.
Thank you.
So that's really, really cool. So thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm just a DM away.
All right. Well, take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms as well as visiting my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more videos to come soon. Take care, stay safe, and stay healthy.